Hello everyone, my name is Alex Poldma and welcome to the 10th annual Safe Water Project fundraiser and our first online telethon. Everyone here at EnviroStewards and the Safe Water Project are hoping that you and your families are staying safe and healthy during this unprecedented time. Even though our lives have been slowed down, put on pause, or have changed, many people in the world are still struggling to survive and have access to basic needs such as safe water. Our goal today with the telethon is to spread awareness of the Safe Water Project, connect with each other, meet some amazing people, as well as fundraise to continue to support and grow the Safe Water Project. Throughout the telethon, you will be learning about how the Safe Water Project empowers people to create sustainable businesses in East Africa, and how far your donation and support really goes. We are not buying and giving away fish. We are teaching and empowering amazing people how to fish for themselves and to teach others to fish. To donate, please go to www.thesafewaterproject.org and click Donate Now. That is www.thesafewaterproject.org and donate now. Alternatively, if you'd like to donate over the phone, please call our donation hotline at 519-578-5100. That's 519-578-5100. All these details are in the description of the YouTube page. If you donate $100 or more, you will automatically receive a tax receipt and a Safe Water Project t-shirt, the exact one I'm wearing right now. These shirts are the same shirts that the Safe Water Project teams in Africa wear. You will also receive a self-watering basil planter celebrating EnviroStewards' 20-year anniversary of engineering change. Your donation of $50 or more will give you the choice of the t-shirt or a planter while quantities last. We have some other awesome prizes as well, thanks to some of our incredible sponsors. Special thanks to the Thorogood family for donating the grand prize, which is a Toronto Harbor cruise. If you donate $1,000 or more, you will be entered into the draw to win the boat cruise. Also, we have some other prizes from Grosh, a certified B corporation that sells coffee, tea, and hydration products while sponsoring water projects as well. Wellington Brewery, a local craft brewery in Guelph, has also been a great supporter of the Safe Water Project and has donated some awesome prizes for our raffle. Muskoka Brewery, located in Muskoka, Ontario, has also donated a gift basket for our raffle. And finally, Chudley's has also donated some prizes for our raffle. Each donation during the lead up to the telethon and during the telethon itself will be entered into the raffle to win these great prizes. I really hope that you enjoy the telethon, and thank you so much for joining us today. Next up, an update from our Safe Water Tracking correspondent, Wesley Palmer.
Let's go, people! This is going to be great. My name is Wesley, and I will be updating us on our donation progress throughout this event. Now, these thermometers you see will be tracking our progress towards the support goals we have set for this year and for this telethon. We are hoping to sponsor 290 filters this year, 150 of which have already been installed. This would provide 2,030 people with safe water continuously throughout the lifespan of these filters. An average of 7 people per filter, and this requires $29,000 to attain our goal, which is $100 per filter. That is why we have set these particular targets. Now, this map you see, part of Africa, shows the location of every Biosand filter that has been installed since the beginning of the Safe Water Project. The work started in South Sudan and resulted in 851 filters. Unfortunately, though, because of the civil war, this work could no longer continue in South Sudan as people fled to refugee camps in Uganda. However, a great testimony to the work of the Safe Water Project was displayed as the people who we invested in and trained to do the work were able to continue the work in Uganda to where they had gone. Since then, 1,145 filters have been installed there. There is also 10 filters in Malawi. These all add to a total of 2,006 filters since the beginning of the Safe Water Project. That's a lot of people getting safe water. Here we can see the distribution of the 150 filters installed in the past year, all of which are in Uganda. Now, people, an important aspect of this event is to inspire us to contribute to this humanitarian work. And a simple way for many of us to do this is to donate financially. We invite all of you who are able to do so with gladness, knowing the great impact it will have on people's lives. During this event, we will educate you about what the Safe Water Project is doing and how it does this. We also have some entertainment for you. I will give the next update in about 15 to 18 minutes. And now, for those viewers who are not familiar with the Biosand filter, we've put together a short video about how they work. After the video, it will go to the founder of the Safe Water Project and our leader in these efforts, Bruce Taylor.
I'm Bruce Taylor, the president of EnviroStewards and the founder of the Safe Water Project. The local teams in South Sudan, they build these water filters out of cement, then they fill them with layers of gravel and sand. The beneficial bacteria in the water accumulate in the top layers of sand and they eat the harmful bacteria, so it purifies the water as it goes through the filter.
Hello, I'm Bruce Taylor, the founder of EnviroStewards in 2000 and the Safe Water Project in 2004. EnviroStewards is located on the Haldeman Tract, which is land for 10 kilometers on each side of the Grand River that was promised to the Six Nations tribe forever. Specifically, we're in Block 3, which was then subject to a 999-year lease. But as far as we can tell, the lease payments were never made, and there was no permission given for the ownership of this land. Now, we can't deal with the previous tenants or the whole tract, but the land underneath EnviroStewards, we're committing as EnviroStewards to offer to pay an equitable lease rate for this land to the Six Nations. But I'd like to introduce our first musical guest. It's Tim Lewis, and prior to the election, he was known locally as a fine musician, and he even played at my father's funeral. He played a selection of my father's favorite songs. And now with the election and all of his added duties, we're wanting to make sure that he still knew how to play music. So we've invited him, and he's graciously offered to welcome us here and to provide a song selection in honor of the Safe Water Project. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim Lewis, Member of Parliament for Kitchener-Conestoga. I want to thank Bruce Taylor for this opportunity to address you and to thank you for joining us for this Safe Water Awareness event. I would like to acknowledge the important work that EnviroStewards is doing to raise awareness for the needs of biofilters and also for their advocacy in improving the quality of life for the 1 billion people around the world who are currently challenged with the condition of unsafe drinking water. Your involvement and the commitment to this cause brings several benefits for families, including increased awareness of life and savings in medical costs, as well as a healthier environment to live in. COVID-19 has highlighted the inequalities in standards of living for people in Canada and those around the world. The pandemic we're living through is felt by us all, but it's disproportionately affecting those most in need. Sometimes it's when we feel powerless that we realize that even the smallest gestures can make a big difference in someone's life. I've seen it as a career recording artist and touring musician, and now I've experienced it as an elected official. It is our capacity to give and to support each other that will get us through these times. And it starts by realizing that we are all connected. Kindness knows no political or geographic boundaries. So your help will make a difference. And I thank you for your support and generosity. Now I'd like to share with you a song I wrote and recorded about a tour I did in Quebec. One afternoon, I was sitting by a beautiful lake, and the imagery of those peaceful moments was balanced with the sadness of leaving, not knowing when or if I would return there. The serenity that nature can offer us is something better felt than explained, but I hope this song, called Last of the Lilacs, will allow you to experience a bit of the bittersweet memories I had when I perform it. Thanks for listening. A golden sunset, as if the sky burns for me. Will I see you again? Who can say? Like each season, will you return to me? Unlike the springtime, will you stay? And the last of the lilacs are fading fast. Down by the lake, their falling shadows are cast. As the sun gently paints a picture on the water it sets upon, the last of the lilacs are soon gone. Southerly skies may become cloudy, westerly winds may often blow. The east brings a sunrise that is just out of reach. At night northern lights may put on a show, and the last of the lilacs are fading fast. Down by the lake, their falling shadows are cast. As the sun gently paints a picture on the water it sets upon, the last of the lilacs are soon gone. As the sun gently paints a picture, au revoir and adieu, the last of the lilacs in bloom, the lilacs are gone, and so are you.
Thanks, Tim. That was fantastic. Hi, my name's Dave Fox, and I am your trivia master for today. We have put together a pub-style trivia for us to play together. This trivia game provides a great opportunity for all of you to get involved during our telethon, learn more about the Safe Water Project, and of course, win some prizes. So the rules or logistics of this, we try to make it as simple as possible, and we just ask that you open up a new email message and address an email to info@thesafewaterproject.org. I'm going to ask 9 trivia questions, and if you simply type in your answers into the body of the email and send it over afterwards, we'll use the rest of the telethon to check the answers, and the winner will get a prize. So moving on to our first question. Question number 1. How many healthy active life expectancy years, or HALE years, are added on average when people have access to safe water in Africa? Is it A, 2 years, B, 4 years, 8 years, or D, 10 years of active life expectancy added on? So for each question, I'm going to provide about 15 seconds for you to review the possible answers and type them into that email. All right, on to question number 2. How many people on Earth are drinking contaminated water right now? Is it A, 500 million, B, a billion, C, 1.5 billion, or D, almost 2 billion people at 1.8 billion? Now remember, there's about 7.5 billion people on Earth now. How many of those drink contaminated water? Question 3. How many hours per day do women and children collectively use to collect water, as per the water.org website? Is it 50 million hours collectively, 100 million hours, 150 million hours, or up to 200 million hours a day used just to collect water? All right, moving on to questions that pertain directly to the Biosand filter. How many moving parts are there in the Biosand filter used to produce safe water by the Safe Water Project? Is it A, 0 parts, B, 3 parts, C, 9 parts, or D, up to 23 parts in a Biosand filter? Okay, on to question 5. How much electricity does it take to run a biofilter for 1 year? Is it 0 kilowatt hours, 50 kilowatt hours, 100 kilowatt hours, or 200 kilowatt hours to run a biofilter for 1 year? Okay, question 6. On average, how much water does one Biosand filter clean each year? Is it A, 10,000 liters, B, 20,000 liters, C, 50,000 liters, or D, up to 100,000 liters per year that each Biosand filter can clean? All right, moving on to question number 7. True or false? The Biosand filter is made from just 3 main materials: concrete, gravel, and sand. True or false? Just those 3 materials. Question 8. How many biofilters can be made with just 1 bag of cement? Can you make 1 biofilter, up to 2 biofilters, 3, or 4 biofilters with just 1 bag of cement? Okay, and our last question, question 9. The Safe Water Project has provided safe water to the citizens of which countries? Is it A, Malawi, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, and Pakistan? Or is it B, South Sudan, Uganda, Ethiopia, and Kenya? C, South Sudan, Uganda, and Somalia? Or is it D, Malawi, Somalia, Tanzania, and Kenya? So another 10 seconds to fill out the answer to that last 9th question. And now we'll allow for about 20 seconds for you to finish up this quiz and email it over to info@thesafewaterproject.org. Once we have all the answers in, we can review all the answers, the correct answers together. And in the meantime, if you haven't yet, you can send in your donation. All right, so let's move through the answers quickly together. So how many healthy active life expectancy years are added with a Biosand filter? Well, it's up to 8 years, which is a pretty significant difference in someone's lifespan. Up to 1.8 billion people right now are drinking contaminated water. That's a significant proportion of the population worldwide. Question number 3 asked, how many hours per day do women and children collectively use to collect water? It's actually over 200 million hours. Just imagine what could be done if that time wasn't used to collecting water. Kids could go to schools, and women could work other jobs or be at home to help with the family instead. Question 4 about the Biosand filter. How many moving parts are there? Well, in fact, there's 0. The Biosand filter works simply by gravity, which makes it such an amazing piece of technology. And likewise, it uses no electricity, so it can filter all this water for a family without needing a plug. On average, how much water does one Biosand filter clean each year? Upwards of 20,000 liters of clean water for a family. That's a significant amount of water. And if you answered true, well then you're correct on this one, that although it uses no electricity and has no moving parts, it really only has 3 ingredients, and that's the concrete that makes the shell and the gravel and sand that filters the water. Question 8. You can build up to 3 Biosand filters with just 1 bag of cement. And our last question, where are all these Biosand filters that the Safe Water Project has installed? Well, they're in 5 countries: Malawi, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, and Pakistan. So that concludes our trivia. Well, thanks for playing along. We're going to review the answers now, and Alex will announce the winner at the end of the telethon. But for now, I would like to introduce the Safe Water Social Ventures 101 video that shows how your donations provide safe water.
So Alex, how would you describe the Safe Water Project?
The Safe Water Project empowers locally owned businesses and communities to provide sustainable, safe, potable water for their communities. And so instead of people receiving filters for free, they purchase them with the money that they would have used for healthcare from the waterborne diseases that they would have gotten if they didn't drink from the safe water. So it provides an ecosystem in which people can provide for themselves while also building the economy.
Okay.
So what happens to my $100 after I donate it?
So for the $100 Canadian, about $70 Canadian or 50 US is used for a price discount that's available to people who make under a certain income threshold to help them purchase a water filter for their home. The other $30 would go into training the local teams, making these filters, helping them with business principles, that kind of thing, starting new projects, and revisiting filters a year later to make sure that they're still in operation.
Hello everyone again. From all the donations within the past year, we have raised a total of $14,775, which will provide safe water for 1,034 people. We give a big thank you out to those who have contributed so far. And we give a shout out to Lanxess, which gave a huge $24,000 donation towards the work earlier this year. $15,000 of this went towards starting a new project in Pakwach, Uganda that is being commissioned during COVID, while the other $9,000 has been used to sponsor filters and therefore has also been included in our donation thermometer progress. Even so, every donation counts, big or small. That being said, even smaller donations have a big impact with this project. Amazingly, each biofilter adds an average of 8 years of healthy active life, as Dave had just earlier said, to each child of the family that you help to purchase their biofilter. Now is a great opportunity to come together collectively and provide safe water for those who need it. Donations can be made online by following the link below, or if you prefer, you may call 519-578-5100, the number listed below, where live attendants are waiting to help you over the phone. Now, if you call, it's going to be very busy, so in the case that it is busy and you don't get through, just keep trying until you do. Now, you may also mail a check to the Safe Water Project to the address listed below. Now, we will go to our host, Alex, for our next segment. Alex?
Thanks, Wes. I'd like to introduce our next musical guest, Tuzi. Tuzi is a singer-songwriter who was born and raised in Liberia, West Africa, and is now a Canadian citizen and a frontline nurse. Tuzi has been singing since she was a child. Growing up, she sang with her family, local churches, and bands. She's inspired by musicians such as Whitney Houston, Beyonce, and CeCe Winans. Please enjoy this video of Tuzi as she provides her perspective on safe water and launches her first song, Shine. You can find Tuzi's music on all the standard music platforms: YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Music.
Hi everyone. My name is Tuzi. I'm a full-time nurse and an R&B pop singer-songwriter. I just released a song called Shine, which is about celebrating humanity, people like you. So when Bruce asked me to talk to you guys today, it is truly an honor. I'm very privileged to be able to share a little bit with you about COVID-19 and water and sanitation. So starting with COVID, I don't have to tell you about COVID. COVID has affected every single person, from us healthcare workers to the stay-at-home mom to the children. COVID has been devastating. There's no word beyond that. But in this time of devastation, I have also seen a lot of good. Like, for example, our community have stepped up in a way, there's no words, it's just unimaginable. And it's been beautiful to watch. So, together, I know we will beat COVID. And for some fun fact, the hospital where I work at, there was actually almost a whole week that we didn't have a new case of COVID. So we are going in the right direction. So keep doing what you're doing, because together we will beat this thing. So moving on to water and sanitation. Water and sanitation is also very close to my heart. I was born and raised in Liberia, West Africa. As a matter of fact, one of my very first jobs was actually with a water and sanitation company called Living Water. My dad got very sick and with dysentery. Dysentery is like a severe form of diarrhea, which is mainly caused by drinking unsafe water. And as God could have it, he was lucky and made it to the hospital on time. And that scenario actually made me want to become a nurse, just from seeing how the nurse cared for him. But there's been a lot of people that has been unfortunate. Unsafe water is still killing a lot of people today, and there's still a lot of hospitalization caused by people drinking unclean water. And it's beautiful that you guys, along with Bruce's team, are trying to stop this trend. And thank you so much for being here today to support such a great cause. You know, what I love about Enviro Stewards is the fact that they don't just give people these biofilters, they actually educate people about these and help people buy these filters for themselves. And in a way, when I think of them, it's like, you know, they're not just changing a family, they're actually changing an entire generation, which is really beautiful. Because if you educate a dad about clean water and he's making a biofilter to sell, he will educate his family. So thank you for changing an entire generation. So please be generous and give what you can to help stop the trend of unsafe drinking water. Thank you so much. Shine is going to be on very shortly. I will be singing Shine for you guys.
You thought it was nothing when you stopped by the senior next door. You thought it was nothing when you shoveled the snow from your neighbor's driveway. You thought it was nothing when you made a warm meal for the family in need. You thought it was nothing when you gave $1 to the beggar on the road. You made a difference. You lit a candle that was burning out. You started a flame. Oh, you shine. You shine. Shine. Yeah. Shine. So you thought it was nothing. Yeah. You said good morning with a smile on your face. You thought it was nothing. When you bought a coffee for the person behind you, you thought it was nothing. Baby signs for the single mom, you thought it was nothing. When you complimented a child's good behavior, you laid a candle, and you started a flame that was going out. You made a home for a wandering heart, and you shine. You shine. Yeah. Shine. Yeah. Oh, shine. Turn on your light and shine, oh shine in this darkened world. Turn on your light and shine, oh shine in this broken world. 'Cause you were made to, you're enough, you got what it takes, shine. Oh, you're enough, you got what it takes, shine. In this hurting world, we need your light, shine. You thought it was nothing when you gave up your seat on the bus. You thought it was nothing when you offered a hug to a person. When yeah, you lit the candle, and you started a flame that was burning out, and you shine. You shine. You shine. Oh, turn on your light.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for that wonderful performance, Tuzi. Again, please check out Tuzi on all the standard music platforms: YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Music. And if you're curious how to spell her name, it's Tuzee. In case you're wondering about the phone ringing in the background, don't worry, it's not the tech team leaving their cell phones on, it's the donations that are just rolling in. So keep it up, folks. Next up, we have Alice Penny and Bruce Taylor describing the first online training module for others wanting to start their own development projects.
So Bruce, what are the training modules?
In the first module, it's how to do a market assessment and prepare a business plan to make sure that you have a viable project in that community. The second module is more the technical training on how you would actually go about making these filters in the first place, and it's a train the trainers type implementers course. The third module is business training, so how do you run a social venture? To do that, we have a board game that we developed on basically how to run the business, but also that board game will also be used to help manage the project later on. The next module is how do you sell these filters? So you're training community health agents that help families understand how much they're already spending on water-related illnesses and what the benefit would be if they were to have continuous access to safe water. The final module is how do you dance with elephants? So unfortunately, conventional structures will sometimes stomp you into the dirt without even knowing it. So how do you collaborate in that environment so that you can accomplish both your missions and ensure safe, sustainable water in those communities and empower the local groups? So Alice, what would be taught in Module 1?
Module 1, first of all, you do a needs and capacity assessment for the local community and pretty much a market assessment to find out how this business would operate in the system. And so interviews with local stakeholders like the health department, other charities, and individuals themselves, and find out what waterborne diseases they're suffering from and how much they're spending monthly on healthcare. So it's collecting that data is the first part, which is a market assessment in building the business.
So after you've collected these interviews with the local community, then you're going to put it together into a business plan. And there's a business plan document you can download and modify it as you see fit, as well as the interviews can be modified. But basically, you're going to collect that information. Rather than just figure out the cost, you're going to have to match that with the equivalent amount of income from the project each month. So with the local pricing, you're going to figure out how much would it cost to prepare the filters, how many would we need to sell them in a month, and at what price, to make it balance out and to prepare your plan moving forward. We find that there's a lot of expertise on how much does things cost, but not necessarily on how you balance that cost with an equivalent amount of income so that your project can survive. So based on the interviews with the families, you're going to understand how much would this family spend in the 25-year life of this filter on unsafe water and the medication required to treat that. And then that helps you set the price you need and the quantity per month you're going to need to make and sell in order to actually have a thriving business and to grow.
Thanks, Bruce and Alice. Now, according to that marketing assessment, 90% of the people in Pakwach, Uganda drink dirty water straight from the Nile River. How good it would be to provide these people with safe water from the Biosand filters of the Safe Water Project. Now let's have a look at our donation progress. We have now reached donations of $18,740, providing safe water for 1,312 people. That's great. Now, if you think about that, that's $4,000 in the last 40 minutes. Keep it up, people. Now, as a reminder, you may donate to the Safe Water Project online by following the link below, or you may also call 519-578-5100 to speak with live attendants at our office over the phone, or you can mail a check. Our phone lines will be closing today at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 15 minutes after the telethon. Now to Alex, who will introduce some very special people to the Safe Water Project. Alex?
Thanks, Wes. Next, we have some exciting guests to answer questions that were submitted in advance by attendees. I had the pleasure of meeting these two gentlemen in Uganda a few years ago. Together, we ran a training week for over 40 community health agents in Kiboko, which is in northern Uganda. We then traveled from Uganda to Kenya to participate in the African Biosand Filter Implementation Network Conference, or ABINET for short, to present on a social business model versus reliance on charity. Most of the biosand filter projects from other countries were all reliant on donations to keep the businesses going, unlike the Safe Water Project. Nelson and Matthew are refugees from South Sudan living in Uganda and are project managers and mentors with the Safe Water Project. Their dedication is admirable. Matthew left a guaranteed income with a conventional charity to launch and mentor Safe Water social ventures to build capacity in the people in a sustainable way. And during the war, even though the town of Yei was in South Sudan was surrounded, Nelson refused to leave until he had installed all the filters that were constructed with their remaining materials so that others would have access to safe drinking water. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Nelson and Matthew.
How has COVID-19 impacted you and your community?
There's a lot of restriction, like a lockdown, and people cannot move. So the technicians, they are relying on the cells where we provide to the community. Now, because of the low income that people are getting, they cannot pay the full cost. So you find that the technicians and the other workers, they cannot able to help their families. So that thing became very hard to the business. COVID-19 has impacted our community and has negatively and then positively in the community. On the negatively, we look at government restrictions that has affected people's economy. And then leading to many people losing job, and then the financial level of families have come down completely. Because of the financial limitations, they could not buy filters in full cost during this pandemic. And we are pleading for more financial support during this time.
So how has the current situation then affected the business, your business, the business side of things?
Prominent customers ended up withdrawing just because they are financially also limited. Because of the financial limitations with our beneficiaries, they could not buy filters in full cost during this pandemic.
Or what aspects of the business do you guys personally enjoy?
For me, naturally, I enjoy building the filters because from the time when I started the program, I was really going through, and at least from that time, I started getting more experience in building the filters, and which it has motivated me to produce a quality filters that makes people get attracted in the products. So, like when you're working in production, when you're producing goods, you should make sure that you have to produce quality things that can attract people to admire.
So how long does it take you to make one filter?
One filter, if we are producing one filter, it takes 24 hours.
All right. So can you share an experience of some of the project impacts on a customer or the community, something that stands out to you?
Actually, I was encouraged by a user, Ide, whom the husband purchased the filter, but she was nervous. She was not happy because the husband used the money for buying the filter. But when we went there for follow-up, she was encouraged by the reduction in water-related disease. The children are no longer suffering from that. She gave us this testimony that really she was happy, she was convinced, and she went to the husband and apologized to the husband. The time when the sales agent was telling me the first time when he came, and then he got one for himself, and then later when he is using the filter, he really came to me and he told me the Biosand water filter it has helped his family, and they are enjoying the services that we are providing, because from that time when he received the Biosand water filter, he is no longer spending money on treatment, like he sometimes also buying charcoals and the other things, maybe buying this, there are some tablet of chlorine where they put in the water. He's no longer doing that. When you have the Biosand filter, you cannot, it's not clean water. You have already good water. Nothing really motivates in what we are doing.
Thank you. How about you, Matthew?
I got encouraged with my team that we have been working together, especially Christopher, who has been a very strong technician, who can carry the filter wholeheartedly to the household. We are having a pickup, but he can carry that filter from the pickup into the house alone. And I was really so encouraged with the commitment he has on the project.
What is the biggest challenge for the Safe Water Project, do you think?
People in the communities, because of the low income, they cannot pay the filter fully. In instance, they are relying on the sales where we provide to the community. Now, because of the low income that people are getting, they cannot pay the full cost. So you find that the technicians and the other workers, they cannot able to help their families. So that thing became very hard to the business. And then the other challenge is the issue of transport, where we cannot access other areas because we lack transport. And then also the other challenge on the BSA business is that building community trust. It takes time for the community to really understand about the BSA business, and it takes time for one to convince the beneficiary to buy the Biosand filters. It's a long-term struggle before you get the benefit in this business. I request that if there's any other financial support, especially in this COVID-19 period, that will help us more. Many of us are dependent on the sales to get their wages. And when there are no sales, then it is difficult for our technicians to sustain their homes. And that is the major challenge at the moment during this COVID-19. And then also I'm requesting, because of the financial limitation of these communities, if we will have more discounted filters, that will help us grow.
Thank you, Matthew, Nelson, and Alice, for providing such helpful insight from where the rubber meets the road of this cause. Now, where the rubber meets the road of this cause, where the support we give translates into the hands-on work in Africa. Now for our final update. Checking out the donation thermometers, the progress. We have now reached $21,600. Yes! Woo! Yes! Now, people, that is donations of about $7,000 in the last 50 minutes. That's great. And that will provide safe water for 1,512 people. Now, We know we set a high goal for this telethon, so let everyone be encouraged that although we didn't meet our goals, we have been successful in blessing many people with the fundamental need of safe water who otherwise would not have had access to this. Not only have we provided safe water, but from eliminating the need to boil dirty and harmful water using wood as a fuel source, we have avoided the deforestation of 260 hectares of land. Now also, it is likely that we have prevented 4,030 cases of typhoid or other diseases that would have resulted from drinking dirty water, therefore improving quality of life and saving people from expensive treatment options and risk of premature death. Now, if we have a look at this map here, the green icons here represent all of the installed filters which have been sponsored as a result of this past year. And if there's any orange ones there, the remaining, we hope to continue and eventually sponsor those. Now, donations can still be made over the phone to 519-578-5100 until 5:15 p.m., 15 minutes after this telethon. You may also donate online by following the link below in the description. Now, even when we do reach these goals we have set, there will be an ongoing need for support, and we encourage you to stay in touch with us. Future updates will be made online. Future donations can be made online at the Safe Water Project website, where you can also be directed to other donation methods. Now, for a donation of $100 while supplies last, you will receive a cotton masterpiece that you can call your own, or in other words, this Safe Water Project t-shirt. People who have donated, it's coming your way. Now, you will also receive a self-watering planter containing a basil plant. And now, to Alex for the final remarks that will wrap up our event. Alex?
Thanks, Wes. Hello one last time. A few closing remarks. As Wes mentioned, the donation page on www.thesafewaterproject.org will be open all year. Any donations submitted on or before September 30th are eligible for the prize draws. The prizes will be drawn on October 15th, and if you are located near Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph, or the GTA, we will arrange drop-offs of the prizes. The same goes for your t-shirts and planters. If you are located outside of these areas, we can arrange the items to be mailed. Please connect with Alice Penny if this is the case. Also, if you have donated, please email us with your shirt size preference. Her email is info@thesafewaterproject.org. Now, we want to announce our trivia winner that Dave Fox held earlier. Our winner with a score of 7 out of 9, which is pretty good, is Layla Natah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Layla is the CEO of W2R Solutions in London, and a great score of 7 out of 9. So good work there, and thanks for everyone participating. We have another fun and exciting fundraiser that's coming up. The Ride for Refuge is occurring on October 3rd. You can register with our team, which is called the Water Cycle, and ride in any of the rides organized across Canada that day, or you can ride freestyle in your own local community. If you'd like to join the team or volunteer, please visit rideforrefuge.org and sign up. Also, a Safe Water Advocate update will be held online at noon on December 3rd. Sign-up information will be available on our new website. You'll receive an email next week with a link to the new site. Once again, thank you to our corporate sponsors and prize donors. Thanks to all of you for joining us and donating and making this year's fundraiser the best fundraiser to date. We hope that next year's fundraiser we can all meet in person. To close off the telethon, we will be sharing our new website, which will come online this Monday. Many, many thanks to Ruth Thorogood for her hours and hours invested in developing the new site, which looks incredible and includes the online training modules being developed to help others launch their own projects. You can also follow events that are coming up and find out how to get involved with the Safe Water Project. Thanks again for joining us, and stay safe.